What's up guys, my name is Westy and I'm back again today with another Battlefield 4 video, and today I've got some Battlefield 4 news for you guys. Now, it's been rather a long time since my last Battlefield 4 news video, but I try and only comment on things that seem pretty much legit, and what I've got for you guys today is pretty much confirmed as legit. A few weeks back, PixelEnemy.com did an article on what was supposedly a survey that was conducted by EA about Battlefield 4. Now obviously this thing was supposed to be private, but some of the details were leaked by a guy who actually took part in the survey. But now 2 weeks down the line we actually have access to some screenshots of that survey. Now just to confirm to you guys that this survey was actually the real deal, EA did actually issue a response when PixelEnemy asked them about this survey, which pretty much confirmed the fact that there was a survey. And their response was, "We value the feedback from our fans and are constantly looking for ways to improve our games. We conduct annual surveys that include topics that these range from random ideas to specific themes to see what resonates. These are just some of the ideas included in our survey and not indicative of anything we have in the works." So as you can see from EA's statement, what they've actually done is confirm that the survey was real and actually confirmed that all of those things that were in the survey were actually there and weren't just made up by somebody. And now we have screenshots of pretty much the whole survey to show you guys as well. So I'm just going to go through all the information in this survey with you guys today, and then I want to see in the comments all the different ideas that you guys have for Battlefield 4 and your opinion of what is in this survey as well. So let's get started. So the first thing we come across in this survey that's worthy of any note is a question that's put to you guys about Battlefield 3 stats. So here we go. How likely would you be to purchase Battlefield 4 if you were able to migrate your current status from Battlefield 3? This would allow you to unlock all weapons so that you would not be starting from scratch. Now I think this is a major talking point, because what this survey is actually telling us here is a lot of the weapons that are in Battlefield 3 are going to be in Battlefield 4. Now of course a lot of you might already have sort of guessed at that, considering how early Battlefield 4 is being released after Battlefield 3. But this is kind of clarification that a lot of stuff that we've seen in Battlefield 3 is going to be seen in Battlefield 4. Now I don't really think it's going to be exactly the same, but however there are going to be a lot of things that are the same, and I guess this will work for vehicle stats as well, so we could be seeing a lot of copies from Battlefield 3 in Battlefield 4. And the guys cunningly answered the question, "I will not purchase Battlefield 4. So basically he's telling them, please don't transfer stats over. Now I don't think this would be a great idea, because I really like leveling my way up all the way from level 0 all the way up through the levels. And I guess that's kind of the point of playing this game. Even if you're Colonel 100, you still play the game so that you can get points and level up a little bit further. And that's something that I really enjoy about playing Battlefield, because there are so many levels. It takes you quite a long time to reach that top level. I really enjoy doing that. The next thing that really caught my eye was the idea of dynamic battlefields in Battlefield 4. Now I recently did a video on dynamic weather and sort of changing day and night cycles in Battlefield 3. That was a rumour about 3 or 4 months ago, and I sort of displayed what it would be like in Battlefield 3 to have these sort of situations. But here it says, experience a dynamic battlefield where no two games will ever be the same. Blow the foundations of a dam and flood the area of combat. Bump into a vehicle and its alarm will give away your position. Cut the power to a building and envelop the enemy in a cloak of darkness. Now out of those 3 examples in that bit of text there, I'm really only excited for one of those, and that would be the ability to blow up a dam and sort of make a whole map covered in water. Now that would be something I'd really like to see. It could completely change up the battlefield for maybe 10 to 30 seconds while water rushes through the whole map, and it's complete and utter chaos until all that water drains away. That sounds something completely cool to me. I'm not so much liking the idea of bumping into a car and its alarm going off. My idea would be to just blow up the car and then get it out of the way. I don't really like being in stealth mode and suddenly I get slightly too close to a car and it would sort of set an alarm off. But perhaps these are just ideas from EA and DICE, so perhaps we won't see this in the final release. But I'd be really excited to see that dam featured in Battlefield 4. Now in the next section we've got some hints at naval combat. Now here we go, we've got Battlefield 4 extends the front past of the shoreline with the addition of intense and dramatic water-based combat. Pilot attack boats, ribs and jet skis on swelling seas and stormy oceans. So from the teaser that we saw way back, I think in March now, before the release of Battlefield 4's sort of 17-minute gameplay that we saw, there were hints at naval combat. We saw this sort of turbine going down. We thought it may have been a submarine or an attack boat. But now we have some sort of confirmation that EA are trying to sort of get naval combat really quite heavily into Battlefield 4. I mean, we've already had rib boats in Battlefield 3, and that's about as far as the naval combat went in that game. But jet skis was something that we saw in Bad Company 2, and they were a great little vehicle just to get you from A to B. But think about all the fun you could actually have with jet skis in Battlefield 4. They could become the new quad bike that we have in Armoured Kill. It could be a pretty awesome idea, but we need to see how it's implemented first. The next one I've got here is rather a general topic, but I think it sort of tones in well to things that people have been talking about in the community recently. So here we go. Immerse yourself in the glorious chaos of all-out war. More maps, more vehicles, more weapons, more classes, and more destruction allows you to create your own path and play to your strengths. Now, my pause for effect in that last sentence was on classes. Now, we all know in Battlefield 3 that the classes are completely unbalanced. If you want to get the most points in a game, you play medic, and if you really just don't really care, then you just play medic anyway, because you can get as many points as possible. And classes like support and recon are really just left out, hung out to dry. The only real balanced class in Battlefield 3 for me anyway is engineer. But think back to Bad Company 2 where the classes were a little bit more balanced. However, even if you can think that far back, think back to Bad Company 1 where there were 5 classes which spread it out a little bit more. I'd like to see a return of a 5th class in Battlefield 4. I think the medic class should be split up back into assault and medic, where assault has the grenade and smoke launchers and the medic can have sort of PDW weapons and then have the medkit and defibs. I think that would work quite well. But what do you guys think? There's a mention of something called battle packs in these sort of screenshots that were leaked, and the idea is that the more you play, the more you can unlock these features. And let me just explain what they're trying to do here. You can unlock a battle pack as a reward for all your hard work in combat. Possible rewards include bonus XP boosts, knives, weapon attachments, and customization options like soldier camos, weapon paints, and dog tags that will let you play your way and stand out on the battlefield. So perhaps here, EA and DICE are listening to community. In Battlefield 3, people wanted more weapons, they wanted more customization, and perhaps for Battlefield 4, this is what they're sort of putting their idea forward for that customization section. You unlock battle packs the more you play, so the more hours you put into the game, the more time you spend killing people, getting more points. You unlock these battle packs, which enables you to customize your weapon your way, and do whatever you want in Battlefield 4 in your own way. 300 possible battle packs featuring more than 1,200 items. You'll never know what you unlock. Now that sounds like an astonishing amount of things that you can unlock in Battlefield 4. Not to say that in Battlefield 3 you can't unlock all of those items, but they are just sort of copies for each weapon. Like let's say you want an attachment. Heavy barrel for AEK, heavy barrel for M16. They're essentially the same thing, but they're defined as different things because they are for different guns. But let's move on to the final thing in this survey, which is sort of DLC names for different packs that will be available after Battlefield 4 has been released. And the first one is Naval Combat, and they've given you sort of a different selection of what they could be called, and the description is ocean maps with naval combat, new weaponry, harpoon missiles and coastal boundaries. And the options are Battlefield 4 Naval Assault, Naval Warfare, Tidal Assault, Steel Titans, Rising Seas and Deep Six. Now they all sound pretty general to me, there's nothing really leading in those things, but I'm pretty interested in what it mentions as harpoon missiles. Now that could be pretty cool. The next one is sort of experimental combat or futuristic kind of weapons. Lay waste to your enemies with cutting edge experimental vehicles and weaponry. New prototype weapons both handheld and stationary. Unique combination of open field vehicle warfare and tight indoor combat. And the names that are mentioned here: Battlefield 4 Redacted, Battlefield 4 Prototype, Battlefield 4 Future Strike, Battlefield 4 Final Hour, Battlefield 4 Confidential and Battlefield 4 Classified. Now to me that sounds kind of like a Spec Ops kind of idea. Now that would be really cool to see in Battlefield 4. I'm pretty much going to go with Battlefield 4 Future Strike. That sounds pretty cool to me, but again I'm really excited for the fact that they're going to maybe put prototype weapons into Battlefield 4. I'm not sure how this went, the guy didn't really answer the question, he just took screenshots, but I'd really like to see some more futuristic weapons in Battlefield 4. And the final one mentioned close quarters combat and more focusing on knife combat. Get up and close and personal with your enemies with a barrage of new melee weapons and maps designed for hand-to-hand combat. 10 new melee weapons featuring katanas and expandable batons. New stealth kill animations for each melee weapon. Now this sounds actually cool. A lot of people thought that in Battlefield 3 the knife animations from the beta were actually better than the ones that were released in the final game. And a lot of people called for more knife animations to be available in Battlefield 3. Obviously they are quite hard to make. You can see that in Battlefield 3 the Frostbite 2 engine didn't really do them very well. They were quite laggy, especially on PC I found. And especially when you're trying to get some cool clips, a laggy knife doesn't really go very well with that. But this sounds really cool. Imagine specific animations for each different melee weapon that you have, coming from different angles each time. That sounds pretty awesome. But anyway, the names for these DLCs are Battlefield 4 CQC, Battlefield 4 Gutted, Battlefield 4 On Guard, Battlefield 4 Hand to Hand, and Battlefield 4 Swift Kill. And finally we come to the ever-present rumours that are always surrounding Battlefield games, and that's Dino mode. The survey mentioned that Dino mode would be a co-op mode only where you survive with your squad against a team of dinosaurs. It doesn't explain much more than that. However, there were mentions of what weapons that would be used, and these would be primitive, specifically mentioning a bow and arrow. Other than that, the DLC names that we have are Battlefield 4 BC, Battlefield 4 Primal Combat or Primal Warfare, and a few others that the guy can't recall. What do you guys think about all these DLC names? Are you excited for the melee weapons? Are you excited for naval combat? You need to let me know in the comments. But that's about all the Battlefield 4 news I have for you guys today. I hope you have enjoyed this video. Don't forget to like it so other people can see this information. And jump across to my channel as well for all the Battlefield 4 content that you're ever going to need. But my name is Westy. I hope you've enjoyed this video, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.